Welcome back to America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys Formula and America's Medicare Associates with Nolan Baker and Chaz Price. 419-794-3030 is the phone number. The website, arhq.com. Here we are at the time of this recording in November. That means Thanksgiving's around the corner. It is the time for family recipes. And a new poll by Bob Evans found that 71% of Americans have at least one family recipe that was passed down to them from parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents, that generational that knowledge. Just as family recipes can go from one generation to the next, financial assets also often do the same thing, passed down to heirs. How can you help with that so that this transfer goes smoothly?
Well, you think about family recipes. I'd say my favorite recipe that was passed down from Grandma is a secret recipe. It's made with rye bread, spicy meat, and cheeses. So it's something I'll probably make for the holidays coming up here before too long. And it's one that's been passed down from generation to generation too. I don't know, any family recipes on your side?
My mom makes this Waldorf salad. She thinks that I like it, but it's I've never liked it. But Mom, hope you're not listening. But we'll probably see some of that at the table, and I'll be forced to eat it. But
well, just like that you're still doing it anyway. You're still eating it
begrudgingly, just choke it down.
How about you, Chris? Any good family recipes?
In a similar sort of situation, my parents first-generation immigrants, so Thanksgiving is kind of something they did on their own. Didn't really perfect it. My mom does make a great sweet potato casserole that I do love every single year, and that is one that I've tried on my own. Still can't quite get it right.
There you go. Perfect. Just like, family recipes, they can kind of go, from one generation to the other. Financial assets, as you point out, are often, passed down as well. The challenge is, when you're looking at transferring family assets smoothly, it's not as easy as just handing over that postcard that you have on what your recipe is. Oftentimes there's a lot of blow-ups that happen, and people, you see families get destroyed over that passing down of the legacy. In addition to that, some of the times that the legacy moves smoothly, if you look at the stats that are out there, a lot of times that next generation will spend those assets, pretty quickly. So it takes even more care and comfort than a recipe, I think, to get it right. To me, it starts first and foremost by having a comprehensive and clear financial plan. I mean, I'm no different in this situation. My parents got divorced when I was in middle school, and my parents got remarried, and it was at a young age when I was just really in my early 20s that my dad unfortunately had a heart attack and passed away. He was on his second marriage, but at 49 probably didn't give it a whole lot of thought to it. Really didn't have clear wishes and a comprehensive estate plan put in place, and I think that created some conflict within the family. When you're looking at your situation, I think one of the things that I would urge you to do is make sure that you have a comprehensive estate plan in place. That could be a will, that could be your power of attorney, your healthcare directives. If you have any special items, I think those are important to list those out. I wear my dad's wedding ring still to this day is my wedding ring. So those special items that you have, make sure, in transferring family assets smoothly, you identify what those are. Sometimes you want to consider having trust. I get a lot of the times people ask me questions about that. And first of all, I would say we're not attorneys. You should always seek the advice of an attorney before you make, legal decisions. Sometimes there's reasons to have trust, and sometimes you don't need them. A trust, generally speaking, is designed to avoid probate. So things like keeping your house out of the probate system, and probate is a process to get your house from your name to somebody else's name. Here in Lucas County, it's very costly. It can be something of a time delay, and a trust can be something that helps keep it private. So people like it because of that. Mm-hmm. I have a trust because I still have younger children. I have a 20-year-old and I have one in high school. So God forbid something happens to my wife and I at the same time, we've set some parameters in place to help them with the management of those assets while they're young. Life insurance, annual gifting, retirement accounts, and how to structure, who gets the retirement accounts. If charities are important, sometimes it's better off to leave some of the retirement accounts versus life insurance to an individual. And that can help with the minimizing of taxation, making sure that more money go over. But going back to what I said, that open communication is what we have. And having that open communication, I think, can solve a big part of it. The thing that we've put together here is the ultimate guide to the estate planning checklist. So we have this ultimate guide for the estate planning checklist. And what we can do is we can take our combined years of experience of, going through families and walk you through a process that can help you identify, here's potential issues. Talk about how to make sure you have properly named beneficiaries, how do you even get things set up like a prepaid funeral arrangement. So if you're worried about transferring your family assets, make sure you get a hold of us, get a copy of the Ultimate Estate Planning Guide. We can walk you through that. And Chaz, you run into the same thing, I'm sure, with clients, and that, losing mom or dad, or losing even a spouse, or God forbid, a child. I mean, that's a tragic experience. And it is difficult in helping families transition in that time frame. What would be some of the tips that you give when you're talking with people?
Some of the tips that I would give, Nolan, would really come down to just making it easy on the beneficiaries. And I can think of an example. There's a couple of examples that we're still working on. If you have beneficiaries, if you have 5 to 10 different beneficiaries on an account, and the concept is it's not just sufficient enough to have a beneficiary, in my opinion, because this particular client had 11 different beneficiaries, grandchildren, some of which are actually minors. Each person got, a certain percentage. And so trying to expect one person to coordinate that estate is already difficult. Kids, grandkids are out of state in different, locations of the world. So that's a real challenge. And then on top of that, having somebody handle that, like your executor or your estate that maybe isn't a financial advisor, maybe doesn't understand all the nuances or how to open up an inherited IRA account. I'm not, like you said, an attorney. We don't give legal advice, but in my opinion, having a trust, if you have, again, beneficiaries that are minors, beneficiaries that are numerous, 5 to 10 different kids or grandkids that you want to leave, really take some time and talk to an attorney about having a trust, because it could really simplify your lives, your beneficiaries' lives, particularly the executor of whoever of that estate, because it's ultimately their responsibility not only for coordinating the payout of the estate. So, all the beneficiaries are kind of looking to this one person. They want in this, in a situation, maybe they want their money, and in most cases, you can't receive your inheritance until all the other beneficiaries have sent in their beneficiary request. So it's kind of like we're all on hold waiting for this one, child that's dragging their feet to fill out an application, and it's all on that one person. So that begets fighting amongst your children, which is absolutely what you don't want to do. The other advice that I would give is that, again, if you are planning on leaving as a beneficiary a minor, just know that minor obviously cannot inherit those funds. The parents, in many cases, will be the custodian of that minor account. So really, they are the person that's responsible for doing, whatever they want with the money. It's ultimately the child's, but the custodian is the person that's going to be taking care of the account and managing it. And if the parents don't have actual guardianship paperwork to show that not only are they the parent, yes, you have birth certificate, but are you financially and are you responsible enough to handle that sort of that money? Generally, some custodians may even ask for guardianship. So it's just not as simple as putting PODs or TODs on everything. It's good. It's certainly better than not having it, but take some time, take the next step, talk to an advisor. We'll direct you in the right direction, and talk to an attorney potentially about a trust to make it more simple.
And that's where the ultimate estate planning checklist comes into play, to make sure that all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, so that that already emotional time, the loss of a loved one, isn't burdened by further familial strains, or what do we do now, or where was this or that. It's something that can be provided to you. All you have to do is give a call and ask for it. 419-794-3030. Be happy to get that in your hands. Take care of this and any of your other retirement questions you might have. 419-794-3030 on the website, arhq.com.